Well, good morning, everyone. Hi, it's Leanne Boyd from Fearlessly Free Women, and how are you all today? I'm just coming on here to do part 2. Last week, you may recall, if you watched my video during my Facebook Live, I spoke about the extreme art of self-care and about having treats, giving yourself treats is not about self-care. It's about providing a life and building a life that you love to be in and to live, not just giving yourself treats all the time to escape from the life that you have. So this week, I'd like to take you on a journey through your possible language that you're using around self-care and habits that you may have that are actual signals that you feel deprived in your life in some way. When in turn, this may be why you're feeling, once you recognize your language and habits, you may realize that you may be falling into a trap of just continually treating yourself to things, consumerism, going in and buying yourself things to make yourself feel better, when in fact, you're actually giving yourself things that you don't really need, and that's not self-care really at all, is it? It's really just accumulating and possibly even hoarding those things that you don't need, and then you feel like you've got chaos in your life because you've got too much stuff and too many things, and then you need to do a declutter and a detox around you, really. So you're creating this monster when really you just need to tune in to what you actually need to get through and to live your best life. So to get an idea of what I mean, let's look at some of the common complaints and what we actually really mean when we say these things, what we subconsciously mean is what I'm talking about. So when you catch yourself saying things such as, I never have time to do what I want to do. And that's a common one, and I've been guilty of saying that myself. But what you're really saying deep down is, I don't take time for my needs. Okay, which is a totally different thing. And when you insist, another one is, I always end up doing things by myself or doing everything myself. The truth of what you're really saying is, I don't ask for help. Okay, so think about that. I'm guilty of that too, and sometimes I just have to stop. And then I think, no, I can't do everything, and so I'm not even going to try. I'm just stressing my life further. So I've actually hired someone to do a lot of my office work for me, a personal virtual assistant actually. So, and she's been a godsend for me. So I had to step in and clear that one myself. So when you also hear yourself complaining that no one appreciates things I do, what are you really saying to yourself? What you most likely mean is, I take on way too much, hoping that someone will notice and tell me how good I am, or how much or how grateful they are for what I do. Okay, so it's a big trap to fall into. And I'm guilty. I put my hand up, pick me, and these are the things that I've had to change in my life. And finally, when you use the excuse, my kids take up all of my time, what you actually mean to admit is, I've chosen to make my children's needs more of a priority than my own. Can you relate to any of this? I certainly can. I've learnt my lessons in the past. So do you get the idea? Yeah. So now it's your turn. I want to challenge you to a call to consciousness, to your consciousness, and to become more aware of how and why you need, how and why you feel deprived in your life. You know, if you don't feel fulfilled, if you've got these saying these things in your head and out loud that I've just mentioned, it's probably because you feel deprived. Now, I ran through some questions last week about that you can ask yourself, and I'll just recap on those. You can ask yourself, where do I feel deprived? What do I need more of right now? What do I need less of? What do I want right now? What am I yearning for? Who or what is causing me to feel resentful, and why? And what am I starving for? Okay, so I want you now to go and get a little notebook, just something small that'll fit in your handbag, fit in your pocket, and carry that with you. And I want you to challenge yourself to a call to higher consciousness and to become aware of when and why you feel deprived in your life. Okay, so every day for a month, every time you feel like, oh, you know, I'm just not getting what I need, and these questions, you know, the kids take up more time, or I have to do everything by myself, or, you know, I'd never have time for myself. I want you to write down every time you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, burdened, or resentful. Stop and ask yourself the questions I've just spoken about and jot it down. Jot it down, and soon you'll see a pattern of behaviors for yourself that you're not aware of. All the answers to the questions that you ask will increase your awareness of what you need to change to keep you from feeling deprived. As I said, this is a call to your higher consciousness for you to bring your awareness into the areas of your life that need attention. For you need to be fulfilled and you need to be happy. And this is to identify the habits and behaviors that you're perhaps not aware of that you do. This is your first step to self-care, okay? As I said, you may even see a pattern in your thoughts or a pattern in your behaviors. And you may be even able to link this pattern and these thoughts back to something negative that happened in your childhood. Something that you aren't aware of until now. And you think, oh, I remember when I was a child, this happened to me and I felt this way, and now I'm still feeling this way. Okay, these things may even remind you of something your mother said or did, or your grandmother said or did. Okay, so this is not uncommon. And this is where the science of epigenetics comes into play. The negative emotions you feel, okay, and the bad habits that you have adopted may not even be yours, and may be something that have been inherited and created through your bloodline that is there now in you, and you are going to pass that on to your children as well if the buck doesn't stop with you and you need to change. Science has proven that we inherit our stress and our negative feelings and beliefs as far back as 4 generations, and may even go beyond that, because our cells hold memory within the DNA. And while we were in vitro, while your mother was pregnant with you, and while your grandmother was pregnant with your mother, we all got a dose of the stresses and feelings that the pregnant woman had, while she felt when she was pregnant, and what she felt, and if she felt down or sad or stressed or overwhelmed, frustrated about life. While you're in the womb, you got a dose of that too. So how crazy is that? However, as crazy as it sounds, the more you are aware of this, then the more you are able to recognize traits within yourself and do something about this. Make yourself aware of things that are happening in your life, the triggers and responses within yourself that bring up these negative feelings more. You're able to recognize them. Change your external environment. Change whoever's in your life that are being a bit toxic to you, and move on. So getting back to the questions that I asked. So being introspective and taking the time to arrive at your answers thoughtfully will allow you to gain greater clarity about what you need and what your soul needs to change to give yourself further self-care. Okay, for instance, instead of acknowledging that you need to eat better, and we all do from time to time, especially coming up to Christmas and the silly season, we're prone to eating lots of what we shouldn't. Although, you know, I guess we can eat one time of the year, right? So you just tune into how particular foods make you feel, okay? What gives you more energy? What makes you feel slodgy and dodgy and bogged down, okay? Eating red meat and dairy products may deplete you of energy. So just cross them off the list for a little bit and eat more vegetables and vegetable protein for a while and recoup your energies. Rather than just saying, oh my God, I need fresh air, go out and recognize that perhaps you need a great brisk walk in nature where you can take in all the beauty of your surroundings and really breathe in and feel that within your heart, within your soul. And then that in itself will tune you down to a more calm and peaceful person. Instead of realizing that you need help from others, make a list of what you actually need help with. You know, jot it down. I need someone to help do the laundry. I need someone to do the ironing. I need someone to take care of my grocery shopping, or I need someone to do the lawn, mow the lawn when I'm not here, or I need someone to run my staff meetings, take the notes and pass them all on to the appropriate people that I need to get those notes to, excuse me. I need to someone to help me run my next event, okay, rather than take everything on your shoulders. You know, if you feel sometimes that you've got a tighten the shoulders, or aching shoulders, or even a tightness in your neck with this big sternocleidomastoid muscle coming up that's stiff, that runs into these trapezies there, you really need to take a stock of what you're taking on yourself, because that's a sure sign that you're taking on too much, because we get tight, we burden everything on our shoulders. Okay, so yeah, I did that myself several years ago. I actually fell and broke my shoulder in about 5 places. So yeah, I learnt my lesson the hard way, and I had just finished running events, a whole year of running women's events. I did it all myself and took it all and burdened myself with it to, you know, to get myself out into the world and help women that needed me. But I took on too much, and I did it in a way that really wasn't sustainable for me, and I came down in a crashing halt, which meant I had to take a year out. In fact, I took 4 years out just to get myself back on track again. So please recognize these signs within yourself when you're just taking on too much and throwing your self-care out the window. Okay, so in this busy and over-paced, fast life, it's very easy to lose sight of the things that make you fulfilled and happy, make you truly happy in your heart. So our interests and desires get put to sleep during those times, don't they? We tend to brush them aside and just try and get through the stress of our daily living. Quite often, I'll ask a woman what's really important to her, and she won't even know. She's been too busy just getting through her days and just, you know, surviving, really, not thriving at all. They actually women actually get sometimes stumped by this question: what's really important to you? They're just too busy, and they haven't even given it a thought. So tune into that and think about what you actually want and need and desire in your life right now. Play this video back and go through those questions and go through your language again. It's going to be very, very beneficial and helpful for you to be able to get down and nut out and practice your self-care. So one of the great benefits of practicing self-care is that you start to have more time for yourself, be able to create more space and energy and devote more time to things that you're actually passionate about. And that's when you're really starting to focus on yourself and bring attention to yourself for self-care, right? Your dreams and aspirations actually come to the forefront instead of being lost for years. The trick is to know how to look for the opportunities once you create that space, okay? So if you're ready for your dreams and desires to come to the front, get going. What are you waiting for? Let's uncover them and rediscover them and awaken you and awaken what's in you. So now I want you to go on a treasure hunt, right? Keep your eyes open for symbols and images that really press your buttons and reflect an inner part of your soul and what you long to express within yourself and to others. Notice when something catches your eye. Notice when something pops up and you do a double take and you think, hey, that really gets me going, gets me fired up. I feel a little twinge in my gut when I look at that. Rat through magazines, catalogs, or even go for a tour through your own cupboards and check at the back to see something that's been shoved at the back that you actually loved one time in your life. So create a real treasure trove and a vision board and fill it with all the things and images that you love and that are inspiring to you and that motivate you to keep pursuing your self-care and your passions, okay? So I want you to identify just 3 things this holiday season to kick off your self-care with. There's a good chance you will be pleasantly surprised by how your life will change for the better and how many doors of opportunities will open for you when you commit to reawaken that hidden part that you've squashed because you've put everything else before you. You've pushed everything aside for everything and everyone. So, you know, just find 3 things to get you going. It's not going to be hard. This is now about you. Make 2021 about you. And when you take these steps to honor your soul, you know, the universe is going to be right behind you. And if you want to fast track this whole process to get your life happening sooner in 2021, book in a one-to-one chat with me. I would love to delve deeper with you, nut out your limiting beliefs, nut out and get down to the thinking that you can't, that you're not even aware of. That is, I'll uncover that for you and get you right back on track, fast and effectively and efficiently, and you're going to love it and enjoy it, and we'll get you back right on the path to your personal freedom and the success that you perhaps crave in your life. Gosh, I know I've been craving, had craved personal freedom and success for years in my life, and I kept going and going and going, practicing my self-care, learnt my lessons along the way, put these processes into practice, and they work. And then, as I said, if you want to fast track it, book in for a one-to-one chat with me. I'm going to put the link below this Facebook Live today, and then you can book in to kickstart your 2021 in bigger ways than you could ever imagine. Because once you clear all that negative thinking and crap in your life that's holding you back, things will happen faster than you could think about. You know, because you've got clear thinking, and the things that bog you down, they won't even matter anymore. So, this is Leanne, and I'm going to sign off now from this Facebook Live, and I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and all the best for the festive season, and have a good holiday break if you're going to do that, and I can't wait to hear about all the things that you've been doing to practicing the art of self-care. So, see you next year in 2021 for my next Facebook Live, and I'll put up the topic in my Instagram and Facebook Live, so you can tune in when you're ready. If you can't make the live, then tune in later to the recording. Okay, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you next year. Bye for now. Thanks for listening.